All right, Ready Eddie here. I have some exciting news. I'm going to attempt a 7-day marathon. So I'm going to try to drop a video every day for the next 7 days. Now for me, this is comparable to Roman doing 365 days because this is a huge leap for me, and I can't even imagine how Roman did 365 days. That's not even a realm of possibility of me even thinking about that. So anyways, so the next 7 days, I'm going to share with you some, I'm letting you inside my world a little bit. I'm going to give you a little tour of my piece of dirt. And I got another, there's some home projects I got going. So I filmed a couple things outside of the laundromat and the car wash. But I'm excited. So the Ready Eddie train is starting to roll. So I'm going to try to keep it going. And I appreciate all your support, and it's given me motivation to get after it. All right, Ready Eddie, over and out. Hey guys, this is Ready Eddie, and a little project here at my daughter's house. She wants to do a little flower bed. I'm trying to dig here, and this is like cement, so it must be construction material, I don't know, but it's not going. So take a little look here. This is what we're trying to do. Trying to make a tiny little flower bed. And why does it have to be so difficult? We're getting there. We got our holes dug. It only took us like 15 minutes on every hole, which is ridiculous because of all the gravel. So we got everything in. We didn't have enough room for the mums in the middle, so we're going to just leave it in the pot, because once these other plants get a little bit bigger, plus the mum's here and gone after it gets cold, so we can just throw it away. Well, it looks like we're gonna need one more bag of rock, I think. This should be good. Oh, one little piece of advice. If you're doing any kind of gardening, get a spud bar. I keep a spud bar at the laundromat. Now you think, why do you need a spud bar at the laundromat? But I use that thing multiple times for different things. When a hammer won't work, the spud bar is the bomb. The only people who don't like spud bars are the cable TV guy, the gas company, because when you're digging with the spud bar and you need to be deep, you got to be careful, because you'll break a gas line, you'll hit the cable TV guy's cable. And don't ask me how they know that, because maybe a time or two that's actually happened to me over the years. Moving on to the next help your daughter with the dad thing. They want to till up the majority of this yard right here. It's pretty big for this little tiller, but they want to till it up and reseed it. So this might take a little bit with this little tiny tiller, but we just went down and rented it. My daughter wanted to know if I could take the tiller and run it up beside there. So I tried that, and it kept banging on the cement. So I grabbed the weed eater and I said, this is a poor man's edger. So we just edged. I just edged this all down through here. We got to blow everything off. We did both sides of the driveway. We did over here. So, sometimes we got to improvise. When your wife asks you a ridiculously task to do with whatever tools you got, sometimes you got to improvise. Improvise, can't speak. We're going to try to build some walls today to wall this off so they can get ready to put drywall in here. So, all right, so we're getting ready to cut some boards here. So we made us a little jig thing here to rest our board on, so we can do it by ourselves. And if you're used to doing stuff by yourself like me, we gotta cut these 90 inches. We got a whole bunch of them to cut. So okay, so I got about 40 or 50 of these that I need to cut down. I only need to cut like 2 7/8, or anyways, just a couple inches off the ends. So instead of me marking each one and trying to lay it up here and line it up to cut it, the wheels were turning, and I thought there's got to be an easier way, because I don't want to have to do that 40 times. Or even if I stack them, it's still a lot of cutting. So what I did is I screwed a couple 2x4s in here, which we need anyways, to level it. And then the wheels started turning. I'm like, okay, I don't have enough saw length to get all the way down there, so I just laid another board here. And I put me a stop at the end there. And I secured this board down. I put it's a guide, I guess. So now, when I make the cut, we need these to be 90 inches. So let's see if we're at 90 inches. So come over here to show the 90 inches. All right, so we're exactly at 90 inches. All right, so now instead of marking every board, I can just do this. I'm all about working smart, not working hard. What I did have to do is I put a couple screws in the saw to keep it from moving. You know, once you do this so many times, things jiggle, move. So I put a couple screws in here to hold this sturdy. A little tip to put in your back pocket to try to save you some time. Cost you time up front, but in the long run, you need to save your energy for the real work. We're gonna start putting these walls together. And so what we wanna do at first, this is just the easiest way to do it, I think. I'm not a framer, I'm not an expert by any means. This is just Ready Eddie figuring it out. So I cut me some, these spacer boards. So we're just gonna throw them in here, like so. And we'll have one at the top, obviously. And we're just gonna, we got a battery powered nailer. Makes it a little easier, faster. I always used to use screws, but. So anyways, we're gonna start to pop these together and see how it goes. All right, Josh, go ahead and, so I'm gonna stand on this a little bit because the board is, all right, so we're back. So we had to slide this thing out of the room because we need to get the first board on and make sure everything's square before we start dropping our little jigs in and going down through. So this very first board is crucially important, else you'll get your wall all together and you'll slide it up there and it'll be all out of whack. So there was a little crack here in the base of the floor. I don't know how straight that is, but we kind of lined it up with that. And now we're going to check it with the level just to make sure and see if we're pretty close. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that right there. See how we're not quite square? So we need to bring that far end down a little bit. Go ahead and tap it down, Josh. Okay, that's good, right there. All right, so now you can see all the way around, we're pretty square. So now we're ready to pop it together. Down this end, I need to stand it on the board because it was kind of a warp. But this one seems pretty flush, so. Got that first board on. So now I guess we just drop the jigs in. The same way when I was cutting all these boards, if you make a jig, it makes it easier. You don't have to measure each time. You don't have to try to figure it out. You know, the less brain cells you have, you know, as you get older, you figure this out. The less brain cells that you have to use to do a project, the better. The less cuts you'll make. You know, you start measuring everything and then you got to measure it twice, measure it 3 times. If there's any way to make a jig for it, do it. If you have a bunch of repetition. All right, you ready? Sometimes you'll get a twist in the board like this. See how that board's kind of twisted? It's not really straight. If you take some channel locks, or if you have it's kind of a little easier if you have a big pair of vice grips. Not vice grips, but I can't think of it right now. It's leaving me, but you can use these channel locks. So we gotta take this open here a little bit, and you can twist this to get that twist out of there. Hang on. Okay. All right, so that'll help a little bit with the drywall guy. All right, so this is how we're getting the boards in and out of the basement. So we'll have to carry them up and down the steps, through the garage, and through 2 doors. So we got this here. This is a jumbo wheel well. Wheel well, what am I saying? Wheel well, what's it called, Josh? It's a big basement window thing. Anyways, we can slide the boards up and out, and then we cut them and we'll stick them back down through there, so. Okay, so it's a window well, not a wheel well. I couldn't get it out, so I finally figured it out. The wheels are turning here. I'm trying to pass knowledge on here to, so we had to start another 2x4 here. I'm letting him take over, see if we can figure this out. That'll work. All right, we got our wall number 2. Well, I shouldn't say wall, our piece number 2 done, and we're getting ready to see if it fits. So we'll just about have this one wall done. Well, what the problem is, this is where you can use the pry bar. But if you see here, you know, we're on this insulation right there, right down here. And up here, we're not on the insulation. So all we have to do is pry this over a little bit when we get ready to secure everything. Let's see, this is what we got. We got a space here. But there's not a space on the bottom. But basically what's causing that was there was no insulation there. So see, now we slid it over a little bit, so we should be good. So we're on wall panel number 3. Okay, so we had a slight miscalculation here. Where this board ended up coming out, the drywall man is not going to be able to get his drywall screwed to this board, obviously, so we're just going to have to put another board in here. Like so. Screw it in. We might be able to get a couple screws in top. But anyways, so then that's going to allow the drywall to lay flat, and the drywall guy to have something to screw to. So that was a slight miscalculation on my part. All right, so we need to be 16 inches on center here with our other board. So we started in this corner, we came this way 16 on center, so this is what we got left. So if we come here, basically go right to there, tighten this up, so as you can see, that's going to give us the distance we need. This wall to fit up against the other and that'll still be a 16 inches on center. So what we can do is come here and this will give us the measurement we need right here. So we'll do this on both ends, get this board in there, and then we'll start using our little template board that we put in there, and it should flip up there and hopefully be 16 inches on center. So why we went to the trouble of flipping that around is it seems to be easier if we have the top in place and then we beat it on the bottom. It seems like it fits in there better, but looks like this might be a little tight because this board's bowed, but I swear if you had a spud bar, this wouldn't be a problem because these hammers aren't very big. Okay, so we're taking a little break here. We ran out of 2x4s, so we got to go pick up some 2x4s. But I got to show you this. Josh got him a new man grill. So it's a pellet grill. It's a Traeger. Pretty good hopper there. We just stuck a pork butt in there. We put some little bit of seasoning on there. So we're gonna let that cook about 6 hours. You just got this grill, right, Josh? You haven't had it very long, so we're we're gonna do up some barbecue pork. And we're gonna eat this later and see how this Traeger grill goes, if it has some smoky flavor to it. Got a nice thermostat thing right here you stick in there. Got all these newfangled gadgets. I always cork my pork butt with big chunks of wood in my firebox, but these new fancy gadgets these kids get these days, you know, they're just spoiled. That's our slop catcher. So that'll catch all the juices that come out of that thing. So I think we should put that right on the grate to cook it. All right, we got to go get some lumber. We're here to get some more lumber. We had a slight miscalculation in what we figured. We were only like 5 dozen boards short. So anyways, we got to get all these boards in this here little pick 'em up truck we got, this little Ford Maverick. So if we start popping a wheelie, I'll fire up the camera again so you can see it. But I think we're good. So let's go around here and see how much she's squatting. And a couple bags of gravel. We got a thing of pellets for our Traeger grill because we're doing we're smoking our pork butt, but it's not terrible, I guess. As long as the tailgate don't rip off, we'll be all right. And believe you me, that jig just saved me a whole bunch of time. If I had to measure and mark 54 of these, my eyeballs would be falling out because they're old. They can't focus that long, so. So my daughter said I can't go in her basement looking like this. So I guess I got some overspray, so we're gonna do the hillbilly clean off trick here. All right, hit it. All right, we're all clean. That was easy. All right, our boards are inside the window here, so we're gonna start putting together some stuff to build the rest of these walls we need. And that saved us a lot being able to slide them in the windows. We ran into a little snag here, building this wall out, and we get here to this pipe, and you can see how it's sticking down just a couple inches below the floor joists. So we're gonna have to build a little 36-inch wall to go in between there and the pipe, and then we're gonna have to drop down about 2.5 inches. The entire length of this pipe, and to get it to fit. So, just another little obstacle to add a few minutes to our time. We're gonna try to move this operation inside here. Tore down my jig. We're getting to a place where we ran into gas line that's in our way, so we're gonna have to do a whole bunch of cuts. So to steel and to keep us from running up and down the stairs 20, 30 times. We're just gonna try to make something on this here saw so it doesn't blow the sawdust just straight out the back. We got a little excited here. We pre-planned for this. We knew we only had the 3 boards that were the regular length, but we got a little excited and we put in 4 boards, 16 inches on center. Well, this last one needs to come off, so we're gonna have to tear this off and move this board down. All right, so update on our barbecue. We're at about 3 hours, 45 minutes in. It's looking pretty good. We just took it off the grate. We're gonna stick it in the pan. So I think it's got all the smoke, so we're just gonna finish cooking it here a couple more hours. Internal temperature is 145. I'd like to take it to about 190. We just keep pouring apple cider vinegar on there. We made a little rub for it. All right, so we got framed this around this window. This took us a little bit, but everything went pretty well. We had to drop down the wall to get under this gas pipe that's up here. So we're about to put this other end wall up here. All right, ready? Yeah. Last time I came to visit my daughter, we put up this backsplash. And I was just helping. Joss is the one that kind of knows how to do the backsplash. So we did that last time we were here. All right, so we got some cornbread to go with our barbecue pork. So let's go out here and look and see if we're done. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, I think we're ready. Oh, that's it. That's my temperature right there, 190. All right, so we're trying to get our door frame built. We had to take this thing apart like twice because we're figuring it out as we go, and then we'll get it together here eventually. But Josh is getting pretty good at taking this thing apart. And we don't want to pop all the nails out because that's kind of a headache, so we're just trying to line the nails back up and pound it back in. So far we've been lucky. This one's got a little bit challenging. But we got our wall up here. This is actually our bedroom wall. We're trying to do trying to get this door frame built to flop it up into here. And then that'll be where the door goes for the bedroom. All right, we finally got back together. Looks good. We're gonna flip it out and see if it fits. We got our wall done. We got this door frame built. And I think this will work. We're gonna do a 36-inch door. So next on our list, we gotta do we gotta put in a door frame over here. So we're gonna build a door frame for here. So we can close this off from this is kind of the storage side of the basement. It's not gonna be refinished. So I got about an hour left where I gotta go. I got a 7-hour drive home. I think I mentioned that already. So hopefully my wife can drive and I can rest a little bit. But so we're gonna see if we can knock this door frame out before I gotta go. All right, a little update on the yard. So we got our little flower bed done. We was working on it. It was terrible to dig a hole. All right, so we started tearing up the yard, and we just started tearing up, and now the whole yard's torn up. So I'm trying to break some of this crabgrass out. The yard was awful. So my good wife, while we were downstairs working on the basement, she was out here running the tiller. So they tore up the front yard pretty good. So we traded in the baby tiller we had. Well, actually we didn't trade it in. We took it back to the rental place, and the neighbor guy let us borrow this little tiller. So it made it a little bit easier. So we got the front yard all tore up in a mess. So the backyard, same kind of deal. This is a lot, hon. You turn her loose with a tiller and look what happens. Tore the whole yard up. I didn't know they did a whole backyard. I thought it was just a front yard. Oh my gosh. Right there, she's the one that tilled all this up. Of course now, you know, we're leaving. So we're leaving them with the mess so they can clean it up and spread some more grass seed. Anyways, we're just trying to get some of this crabgrass out here, because if you look, it's just ratty, nasty. Not, you know, everybody else's yard is like perfect and, you know, pedicured, and there's no dandelions, there's hardly no weeds everywhere. And then you come here and it looks like we live on we're living out in the middle of the field that we just, but this was a new build. This is my wife's shadow right here, this little dog. She is the queen of our house. She's never more than 5 feet away from my wife wherever she's at. She holds her like a baby. And she kicks me, my wife kicks me and hugs the dog when she gets home. Okay, so we got our door frame in here. I'll put a 36-inch door. We have some ductwork to deal with. It's all good. All right, so that's a wrap. We are packing up and moving the posse out. But I hate to go over here. I hate to leave you with the mess, Josh, but I need to go. So you'll be in charge of cleanup, right? All right, so we got this mostly framed out. There's a few more things to do, because obviously we're going to have someone come and do the drywall, because I don't do drywall. It's too aggravating. And it's not worth it. So we'll have someone come do drywall, and we got a plumber to come and do a few things here. But I don't know, maybe Josh will shoot us a little update down the road once he gets some of this done. And I'll give you a little shout out about maybe the final product after they're done. All right, have a great day. Thanks for joining us for this project, and until next time.